Welcome to Vegas, the place dreams are made of. A place where it's okay to gamble, take a chance, test your luck. For many, the dreams are dashed, but for a chosen few, good fortune can be found in the Nevada desert. This is where the pot of gold is waiting at the end of a winter's worth of competition on the Indoor Archery World Cup Tour. It all kicked off in Marrakesh, the first World Cup event ever held on the African continent. The second stop, Singapore. Then it was off to Telford, where Great Britain put on a great show. Now we're down to the best of the best, going bow to battle it out in a city that has seen its share of title bouts. So welcome to Las Vegas, the crown jewel on the up-and-coming Indoor Archery World Cup Tour.
Yes, the Indoor World Cup started about 3 years ago as the Indoor World Challenge. We had two countries and two tournaments, Vegas and Nîmes. Those turned out to be a great success. The purpose of this was to have visibility for our stars. The year after, we had three locations, which was Singapore, Nîmes, and Vegas. As a result of having three locations, we were able to call it the World Cup. The World Cup then expanded this year in 2013 to having four locations, and we're very pleased that we were able to offer it in Marrakesh in Africa. This has been more and more of a success each year. Well, we're in Vegas now. We have the last event, the last stage. So we have approximately 2,200 archers, which makes this the largest indoor tournament of the world, and they represent 37 countries. World Archery is very pleased to be able to have the finals here in Las Vegas, which has a very large crowd, a very enthusiastic crowd, and we're looking forward to a great event.
Before Vegas, the world's greatest marksmen and women made their way to Morocco to kick off the indoor campaign. Marrakesh making a statement, welcoming the World Cup Tour to Africa for the first time. And for the first time ever, Crystal Galvin of the U.S. found herself shooting for the gold. Matched up against Inga van Kaspel, it was tied at 5-all after 5 sets. Time for a shoot-off. Galvin gets a 10, so does Inga, but Crystal's was clearly closer to the center of that target.
Surprisingly, it was my first international competition for archery, and I was not nervous at all for the elimination day. It was really weird. I felt almost like I was in a dream. I just kept shooting and kept winning, and then I was down against Naomi 5-1. And in set system, that means she ties and she's won the match. So I looked back at some of my friends and I said, I'm not going to make this easy on her. And they said, make it easy, you're going to win. So I just battled back and shot a bunch of 30s and ended up tying her 5-5. So we went to the one arrow shoot off, and it's kind of a joke amongst my husband and I. That's my money shot, because we do that all the time in the backyard between me and him, closest arrow to the center. And so for me, that was just like being in the backyard. I didn't feel any pressure at all. And she shot her shot, and I heard her coach say 10. So in my head, I said, okay, I know I have to shoot a good shot. Just dialed back and shot right in the center, and it turned out her shot was a 9 anyway. So took that match and then went to the gold medal match.
Then in the men's compound gold medal match, it was an all-American affair. Braden Gelantine facing Bridger Deaton, who had Braden on the ropes. Bridger built a 5-3 lead, but Gelantine stuck one in the center of the target to tie the match at 5 apiece, setting the stage for another shoot-off. Braden was a bit off-center, giving Bridger a golden opportunity, but Deaton couldn't deliver the knockout punch, and it's Gelantine who gets the decision.
I was really happy, and then to shoot against Bridger, we were both pretty nervous up there, and I think it showed with our scores, but to shoot against a great friend and a great competitor, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
It was Russia versus Great Britain for the gold medal in women's recurve. Tatiana Sagina facing Naomi Folkard, who took a 2-point lead late in the match. With Sagina struggling to find the center ring, Folkard grabbed control on the final shot, splitting the set and picking up the single point she needed to nail down the victory. The gold medal at stage 1, giving Naomi a big boost psychologically.
I was really happy, obviously, and it was a great start to the indoor season, and I think it just gave me confidence that I'm doing the right thing for the rest of the year.
In what would ultimately prove to be an incredible coincidence, the Dutchman Rick van der Ven would face off against Italy's Matteo Fissore, who was trailing 4-2 and trying to play catch-up. That 10 put pressure on the Dutchman, who dialed up another shot that was dead center. 10-10-10 adds up to a gold medal for Rick van der Ten, who takes home some hefty hardware from Marrakesh.
Ja, het leek inderdaad wel heel makkelijk, alleen ja, gelukkig was het, ja, het leek makkelijk, maar het was niet heel makkelijk. Dus het blijft altijd even moeilijk. Alleen ja, 6-0 doe ik niet heel vaak en dat heb ik nou gelukkig wel een paar keer mogen doen. Maar ja, ik train niet anders binnen als buiten. Ik train altijd alsof het een wedstrijd is. En ja, dat is eigenlijk nou wel mijn voorbereiding.
After coming out of Africa, the tour moved on to Asia and Stage 2 in Singapore, but the stage was set for two of the top stars in women's compound. Russia's Albina Loganova found herself facing Erica Jones once again, reviving one of the best rivalries in the sport. After beating Christy Collin in the semifinals, Jones was on a roll. Jones jumped off to a quick start, winning the first 3 sets, and from that point on, Erica cruised to a decisive win, avenging her loss to Loganova last summer at Stage 4 in Wrocław, Poland.
I was able to make good shots, and so I got 3 30s in a row, and I guess, you know, she was struggling a little bit, so I was able to capitalize on it, and worked out for me, I guess. I shot well for 9 arrows.
Another intriguing matchup involved the Battle of the Brothers. Rio Wild had faced and beaten Logan Wild the year before in Singapore, but this time around, Logan was looking to turn the tables in this sibling rivalry. After 4 sets, the two were tied at 4 apiece. Rio reeled off a 10 to start the 5th set and led by 1 when Logan left his first shot a little low. Rio showing no mercy, not even for his brother. Logan left with no chance to play catch-up, not with Rio running the table in the final set.
Those are the hardest matches for me ever because I mean, you want to celebrate because you win, but you also don't want to finish your brother. You feel bad that he lost, no matter who he lost to. I mean, I watch him when he's shooting, and I always hope for the best for him, so it's a tough match.
It's always tough when Korea's competing, and no one's tougher for a Korean archer than a fellow teammate. Jeon Sung-yeon would face off against Kim Min-jong for the women's recurve gold medal. Miss Kim found herself backed into a corner after just 2 sets, trailing 4-0. Meanwhile, Miss Jeon kept shooting consistently. Kim had to be shooting 10 since her colleague relentlessly continued piling up the points. Kim Min-jong could only muster 27 in set 3, putting the gold medal on a silver platter for Jeon Sung-yeon. It turned out to be a clean sweep for Korea, with Miss Jeon taking the top prize. In Morocco, Jean-Charles Valadon had to settle for the bronze. In Singapore, the Frenchman had a chance to take the next step, but he'd have to step over India's Tarundeep Rai, who trailed by 2 after 3 sets. Rai was right on target, but Valadon didn't waver. Neither did Rai, but the Frenchman was fearless. Jean-Charles kept it in the middle and was able to hold off a very worthy opponent with a 3 straight 10s in the final set. Valadon getting it done 6-2. I was really focused when I started training for the indoor season after the outdoor season ended. From the beginning of practice till January, I was shooting for 10s. Then when I was training, I wouldn't be satisfied unless I hit the X. This little trick, trying to shoot nothing but X's during practice, made it easier to score 10s in competition. Of course, during the matches, there's more pressure, so it's hard to be perfect. But this is how I trained. The lights were shining bright in Great Britain, where Erica Jones would try to make it back-to-back gold medals at Stage 3 in Telford. This time, Denmark's Camilla Simode would stand in her way. She brought out the best in Erica Jones, who took a 2-point lead in the match and a 1-point lead in what would prove to be the deciding set. The Danish challenger was just slightly off-center with her first 2 shots, but when you're up against Erica, you'd better be perfect. Simode simply could not match shots with Jones, whose golden touch put the finishing touch on this match. 6-2 turned out to be the final tally, a healthy margin of victory. But Erica's learned not to take anything for granted.
given any day, anybody can win one of those tournaments. There's so many great compound women shooters nowadays. So I've just been fortunate to come out on top in Telford and in Singapore. But I had good days, I guess. So hopefully, they can continue.
The men's compound competition pit Peter Elzinga against Mike Schlosser, both athletes from the Netherlands and both capable of claiming the top prize. But after 4 sets, Elzinga was in the driver's seat, leading 5-3 with 3 arrows to go. Schlosser starts out the 5th set with a 9, but Elzinga couldn't take advantage with his first attempt. Schlosser ups the ante, finding the center of the target, as did Elzinga. Schlosser's on the ropes, but he's not going down without a fight. Trouble is, Elzinga just needs to split this set to wrap up the victory, and wrap it up he does, with a final shot that was dead center.
Voor mij is het sinds lange tijd dat
It's been a long time since I won a tournament. I've been on the podium once in a while, taking good shots here and there, but winning a tournament is really special for me.
En dat maakt het voor mij heel bijzonder.
This dazzling show continued with the Korean contingent coming up big in women's recurve. Park Se-hui would go head-to-head with Kim Yu-mi in a closely contested gold medal match. It was tied at 4-all after 4 sets. Then in the 5th set, Miss Kim turned the pressure up on Miss Park, who was up to the task, tying the set and sending the match to a shoot-off. Park set the bar high with pinpoint precision, and Miss Kim came close to matching that standard. But in a game often decided by centimeters, close isn't quite good enough. Kim Yu-mi comes away with the gold for Korea. Finally, 2 Frenchmen stepped up to the line, going toe-to-toe for the recurve gold medal. We pick it up with Jean-Charles Valadon locked in a 4-all tie with Thomas Faucheron. Valadon trying to recapture the magic that carried him to the gold medal at Stage 2 in Singapore. Jean-Charles throws down the gauntlet, and Faucheron cannot pick it up, answering with a 9. Advantage Valadon, who's just 1 shot away from winning the match. When Faucheron misfires, the door is wide open for Valadon, who does indeed make it back-to-back gold medal victories on the indoor archery tour. 6-4 is the final score, with Valadon defeating Faucheron. I shot the first 3 ends and was really relaxed. Then I shot an 8 in this final, my first shot in the red ring during this competition. So I said to myself, I still have 2 ends left to shoot, 6 more arrows. If I want to win, I have to do it now. So I reconditioned myself as if I was shooting against another opponent. If I was shooting against someone else, this state of mind would be there from the beginning of the match. Shooting against Thomas, it was more like practice because he's a colleague. So it was not necessarily harder, but different to shoot against him. All leading up to Las Vegas, a mandatory stop for anyone serious about winning a world title, including Crystal Gauvin, who'd captured a gold medal at Marrakesh and would now shoot for gold at the World Cup final back home in the States. Of course, Erica Jones felt right at home in Singapore and Telford, winning both of those stops on the indoor circuit. Number 1 in the world and unbeaten on the season, Jones snatched up the first 2 set points to grab the early lead in this match. Crystal Gauvin would keep grinding with a solid shot to start the second set. Erica would take her time, and her patience pays off. Gauvin was game, but her second arrow would be cause for concern. Too close to call, she initially receives 9 points, and that provides a window of opportunity for Erica, who takes full advantage, putting her second shot in the center. Now, not knowing how the judge would rule on her previous attempt, Crystal Gauvin came through under pressure with a shot that left, well, no doubt. The same could not be said, though, for Erica's final shot of the second end. This shot appears to be barely touching the line, but now she's got an asterisk by her score. So it's an anxious walk for both women as they retrieve their arrows and learn Erica's shot was on the line while Crystal's was outside the center ring. The set goes to Jones, who now leads the match 4-0. Desperate times call for desperate measures. In this sport, that means you shoot nothing but 10s from this point on. Crystal complies, but the no-nonsense competitor from Nebraska's all business, and she's not about to let up. Erica applies more pressure on Crystal, who cracks just a bit by shooting another 9. Meanwhile, Mrs. Jones has got a thing going on with that center ring, putting the outcome of this match in her own hands, regardless of what Gauvin does on what could be her final shot. Crystal leaves it low, but it's academic at that point. Erica clearly controls her own fate and can bring this all to an end, which she does. All it took was 9 shots, 9 straight 10s, to remain unbeaten during the indoor season and reclaim the title she last held 3 years ago back in 2011. It's a straight set, 6-0 victory for Erica Jones, who caps off a wonderful winter on the Indoor Archery World Cup circuit. Gold in Singapore, gold in Telford. She strikes gold once again and hits the jackpot at the South Point Hotel and Casino in Vegas, where she celebrates with her coach, who also happens to be her husband. Erica Jones, showing once again why she is ranked number 1 in the world.
Yeah, I decided to give it a run this year. I had a good 2013, so I decided to, for the first time, go to the Indoor World Cup stages and, did well there, and I was excited to come here and shoot in the final for my first time, and, I ended up winning it, so it's been good.
Erica Jones, better than good. She's been great indoors. Same goes for Braden Gelantine, who would face Sebastian Penaud in the men's compound gold medal match. Penaud came in with a hot hand, knocking off the 2 Dutchmen, Ruben Blyendal and Mike Schlosser, in shoot-offs before laying down the law with America's Levi Morgan. Now he would face the defending Indoor World Cup champion. We'll pick it up heading into the 3rd set, and Sebastian's shocked everyone by taking a 4-0 lead. Braden Gelantine's got a lot of ground to make up, and he's fully capable. A 10 by Braden to start off set number 3. Penaud, a picture of poise and perfection. He doesn't appear to be willing to give an inch. Gelantine's finally getting into his groove, but the Frenchman's been there right from the very start of the match. Gelantine won the gold medal in Marrakesh, and he's not about to go down without a fight. 3 10s in a row, building the suspense. Now after that, would Penaud finally start to feel the heat? Not at all. Sebastian's a cool customer. That shot's about as good as it gets. Both men are perfect, so they split the set, and Penaud is poised to put this match away if he can win or split the next set. It's 5-1 in favor of the Frenchman, who's raised more than a few eyebrows up in that crowd at the South Point Hotel and Casino. Time to roll the dice. Gelantine's got to win this set for any shot at a dramatic comeback. But then 9 is not what Braden had in mind, leaving the defending champ a little dazed and confused. Meanwhile, Penaud methodically keeps applying more pressure. The 27-year-old, with limited experience on the international stage, came in ranked number 239 in the world. But he's got Braden on the run right now, forging ahead in what could be the deciding set. Braden's got to bounce back to keep hope alive, but the fire seems to be dying out. The French archer remains focused, closing in for the kill. Braden may have come into this match ranked 3rd in the world, and of course he did win the Outdoor World Cup final in Tokyo in 2012. But none of that could change the course of this match. It was out of his hands as Penaud pulls off the upset in the men's compound gold medal match. The man whose best result was a 5th place finish in Vegas 2 years ago runs the table against everyone in his path, including the great Braden Gelantine. Bravo, Sebastian Penaud, for cashing in at the World Cup final in Las Vegas.
C'était assez compliqué de rentrer dans le match, mais je me suis.
It was quite difficult to get into the game, but I stayed focused in my previous matches, and my shots were really good. I relied on my knowledge, really only thinking about my technique, and I blocked out everything else, staying in a bubble to ignore everything around me. I'm really very happy, and I don't think I really realized just yet what's happened. Well, congratulations to Sebastian Penaud, the 2014 Indoor Archery World Cup compound champ. The building still buzzing as the two great Korean archers entered the field of battle for the women's recurve gold medal match. On this occasion, Chang Hae-jin would go up against her teammate Park Se-hui in what proved to be an even more competitive duel. After 3 sets, Ms. Park had pulled ahead by 2 points, winning the first set and then splitting the next 2. Ms. Chang, looking to change her fortune in the 4th set, starts off with a 10. Ms. Park answers the challenge, slowly drawing back that bowstring and delivering a direct strike. But this isn't as easy as it may look. Chang falters ever so slightly, leaving her next shot a little to the left. Lucky for her, though, Park doesn't leap on that opportunity to take the lead in this set. Chang Hae-jin recovers with a strong finish in this set. Of course, the same goes for Park Se-hui. After this shot, the two split again for the 3rd set in a row, and Ms. Park builds her lead up to 5-3. Chang simply unable to gain ground on her Korean teammate after surrendering that first set. The 5th set sees a strong start for Ms. Chang. And a strong start for Ms. Park. Remember though, Chang can't afford to split sets anymore. One more match point for Park and the gold medal is hers. Chang bears down and drills a shot dead center. But all that practice will pay off for Park Se-hui, who is not about to give up control of this match. A match whose outcome no longer seems to be in doubt after Chang Hae-jin lets this shot slip away. 9 or better now will get the job done for Ms. Park, who parks her final shot right on the line for a 10 that's more than enough to wrap up the match. 7-3 is the final score. As Ms. Park gets the gold, Ms. Chang settles for the silver, and the friendship remains intact. They were rocking out in Vegas, no doubt about that. And certainly they were celebrating in Korea after watching 2 of that nation's best archers battle it out for silver and gold. Korea continuing its domination in women's recurve, indoors as well as outdoors. Finally, it was time for the gold medal match in men's recurve competition, a match that this crowd was eagerly anticipating. Matteo Fissore of Italy got through the elimination rounds, only to find Rik van der Ven of the Netherlands waiting to meet him in this gold medal match. Van der Ven surviving his semifinal showdown with Brady Ellison by winning a shoot-off. So Fissore knew he was in for a battle, especially since he'd already lost a gold medal to Rik at stage 1 in Morocco. Fissore was not faring much better in this encounter, trailing by 4 after 2 sets. The Italian settling down, though, and settling in, scoring a 10 with his first shot of set 3. Not wanting to give any ground, Van der Ven put his first shot down the middle. Matteo staying in the middle of the target with his second shot, as does Van der Ven. While Rik gathers his thoughts, Fissore gives him more to think about, completing this set with his 3rd straight 10. Now match that score, maintain a 4-point lead, but drop a point and that lead is cut in half, which is exactly what happened. A 9 gives Fissore the set, his first 2 points of the match, and a new lease on life. He's right back in the hunt, trailing 4-2. But just when it looked like he was on a good roll, a good run, Fissore aims high and puts his first shot of the 4th set in the red ring. 8 is not enough in this game, and he knows it. So does Van der Ven, who picks up on the opportunity with a 10 that gives him a 2-point lead in the set. Now it's an uphill battle facing Fissore, who digs himself an even deeper hole with another 8. Rik doesn't need to take any chances. He just needs to be solid and keep his shots in the gold rings. He'll take that 10 and a 4-point lead in what's turning into the final set. Matteo finally finds the center again, but it's too little too late. No need for shoot-offs this time for Rick van der Ven, who's good as gold, drilling 3 straight 10s to finish off the match. 10-10-10 for Rick van der Ven, who enhances the resume he's built as one of the top archers on the European continent. He takes the first 2 sets of this match, drops the third, and then recovers to take the 4th set, the match, and the gold medal. Final score, 6-2. The pressure was on me from the beginning to start out well and put some pressure on my opponent. When we reached that last set, he started shooting some arrows that were off target, and that just opened the door for me a little bit more. I'm glad I was fortunate to finish out the match in that end. Well, congratulations to Rick van der Ven and to all who medaled and to all who came and competed. We look forward to seeing what happens in just a few weeks as the historic city of Nîmes in southern France plays host to the Indoor Archery World Championships. Till then, I'm Carl Archie saying goodbye for now from Las Vegas.